everyone, welcome back to part 2 of Hannah Karlzon's Magical Dawn, Magical Dawn Inktense colour along. I am working on sort of going back. I will probably in the next part try and do apart from Mythomorphia, the Medusa image. I've gone over and reviewed the thing to find out the pencil colours, and so I have a clear idea of where I left off last and where to continue from. Currently with this image, I was thinking today, yes, we've got the red flowers to continue. I'm not sure if I will continue those first. I was thinking maybe I might go in with some greens into the leaves and then continue with the red flowers. I guess I'm thinking finish the leaves on this flower. I'm not going to worry about the stems yet, and then we can look at maybe adding in some red with these, doing the same as we did with the flower above that we finished last part with the other flowers, hopefully if time fits with that. Yeah, I'm hoping that'll work out anyway. I guess I just felt like rather than just doing another part, basically doing the same thing with the red, we can continue the red, another part we can continue with a bit of the leaves, maybe do some of the flower insides or something. I've got to work out exactly what I'm doing with these flower inside bits because I'm still not sure yet. So I'll work it out eventually, but yeah. So pretty much I think what I'm going to do is at least start with these leaves around this flower, and then I can look at where I go from there. If I continue with leaves, or if I may just do all the leaves this part and then do the flower petals again next part, because these ones I guess aren't quite as large. You will notice some red smudging from the paper possibly here. I'm not going to worry about trying to erase it. I'll just go over it with the next part. But yeah, so I'm currently, shall we say, still working out how to do it, but I think I'm going to at least start with the leaves this part, and then we can work the rest out as we go. I'm still thinking possibly a galaxy sort of space background in similar colours as the flowers and that, and maybe some stuff like that. I'm still deciding with all of that stuff. So I've also, you may notice the book, this is basically holding the page down because it's the hardback book and it doesn't like to sit properly, but also just so that I've got all my Inktense colours on hand if I want to change something, because I've basically done a swatch sample of them with the water so that I know the exact colours, because the ends of the pencils aren't accurate with the Inktense, so I would recommend doing that. But yeah, anyway, what we're going to start with is our iron green with the Derwent Inktense, and I'm just trying to remember the exact way I started with this. I guess why I didn't want to do the flower again is because I figured, well, maybe it would be a bit too repetitive doing 2 flowers in a row kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to do it anyway eventually, but yeah. Anyway, so we're going to start with our iron green, and I'm just remembering the way the shadows, the light sources were. I think we were coming this way with our light sources, if I remember correctly. I think we were, but I'm not certain because there's light sources on these tips, light sources here. Maybe it was, no, it wouldn't have been that way, because then we would have had light sources around here rather than dark. So the light source is more on, but that was shadows there. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with that the light sources were, no, I can't remember the way the light sources, the way I was saying the light sources were. I might have to actually go back and just basically I was following where Hannah Karlzon had the shadows, so I actually didn't have a particular light source in mind when I did it. I basically just followed how she'd highlighted the shadows and did it that way. So I might just keep following that way rather than doing a particular light source. So yeah, so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of follow where the lines are. So along with our iron green, we're just going to come in along these areas here. We're also going to just bring some down around here following these sort of areas in the leaves. Doesn't matter too much, I guess, about having to have the particular blending thing here because we're using watercolor, so I don't tend to worry about it too much. When I'm doing watercolor, I might use it a little bit, but not too much. So yeah, we're just following with our iron green along these areas here. I'm just going to follow how Hannah Karlzon's sort of laid out where the petal details are, where shadows would be and stuff like that, rather than trying to set a light source in mind, because it would have worked better doing that if I'd done it at the very beginning, which I didn't. So yeah. So just going to come in here as well a bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about that side, just more do, shall we say, that centre area and the outer edge kind of thing. I'll just zoom in a bit and make sure it's focused. So as you'll notice, I forgot to zoom in again. Well, that's one thing, but I'm just basically following where she's sort of done some rough lines with our iron green. And I'm just following the same. I'm following it down sort of the leaf stem as well as the other. I'm just trying to get some sort of our light shadows in there. And I'm actually just going to rotate this momentarily to make it easier to do. And make sure I don't cut it out of the camera frame. So I may just finish the leaves on this flower this time, just because it's late at night, but then we can sort of continue with the leaves and the flower colours, and that next time I will see how it goes, just because it's getting late. And yeah, I'll play it by ear, because there's times when I set it maybe short before and then it doesn't end up short. So yeah, I'll play it by ear rather than saying anything in particular. I will just play it by ear. Oops, that's not a leaf part. Bummer. Bummer. Okay. What I'm actually going to do there, just to fill that in, I'm just going to very quickly bring in our ink black just to fill in that area, because that isn't meant to be a leaf and I made the mistake and started to put the ink green in there. I'm just quickly going to pause this and grab some water because I realised I forgot to get water. I'm thinking for this point, this video, I may just work on doing these leaves on this flower, and then I may bring back another video sooner on this, working on the next part or the next flower or something. I will see how it goes. Yeah, anyway, I'll be back quickly because I just made a mistake with that and I just need to get some water for us to use. So yeah, I'll be back shortly. So we're back. I'm just quickly going to wet that black area as last time. We're just working with minimally sort of damp brush and just bring it in first, trying not to bring it all over the other area like I just did. If you do, sometimes if you're lucky you can actually work it out a bit by just bringing water over it fast enough. It may still have light tones, but at least you can get the majority out of there. This brush has ended up a bit bent from travelling with me, so really I probably need to get a new brush sometime soon of some sort. But yeah, I just wanted to fill in the black in that spot quickly. So I'm just going to play it by ear as to how much I do this time, as to if I just finish this flower or what I do. We may just do the leaves and the bead things here. We'll see. Yeah, we'll just see. So we're still continuing with our iron green here. This area is wet. Normally I wouldn't recommend working a wet area because that sometimes permanently sets colour. So what I'm quickly going to do is just do other colours here, and then I will go back over those. I'll go over those colours with you for the future ones. I just want to make sure that I fill those in before it gets too dry and we can't properly blend it, shall we say. So we will do these with all the other petals eventually, once we get to it. And I'm just quickly going to put water over this spot too to set it in place before it dries. I'm just working over this quickly with fast sort of little strokes in the water, trying to get things correct with the blending before it dries too much, and to correct any areas where I sort of go over too much. As you'll notice there, I'm just trying to correct that outer area a little bit, even though it does have a bit of the green on there. I'm just trying to fade that out as much as possible. Okay, so continuing now that we've done that little bit, I will tell you exactly how to do that mix. I just wanted to fix that up quickly, and I will tell you exactly how I've done that as we get to the blending parts. I will. So we're just continuing with our iron green. And doing our little lighter areas on the outside. I guess it's not as necessary to do so, being the fact that you are using watercolour pencils or ink watercolour pencils, but I find sometimes it does improve the look of things by still doing your blending gradients and stuff like that. And excuse that, that's the dogs next door. And I'm just quickly going to put some music on in the background whilst we do this, because it's been quiet so far and I forgot that, so I'll be back in a minute. Sorry about that. Usually I just like to have the music on in the background because it saves having to add it in later with the, shall we say, later with the editing process, and hence it makes it quicker with the editing process. So yeah, I just wanted to have some music going in the background whilst we do this because I find it nice to have some music going. And it helps drown out the dogs next door when they bark a lot and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't need to go on about them because I'm sure you've heard plenty about them before. Move it up to make sure that you can actually see the area. So I just realised it may have been in a slight area out of the frame. Then I'm just going to swap the position again. I guess it's also the fact that I just like having music on in the background because I find it helps relax me even more when I do have some music on. As I'm sure all of you like to use music or some other type of noise in the background when you're doing your colouring as well, because it helps relax you even more. It makes it more fun. So yeah, that's also why I put it on, but also because yeah, it does help me with saving time on the editing processes in the end by having it going whilst I do this. That's not a bad thing because it means I get the video out sooner, which is great. But yeah, I would love to know though, do you want me to show all the flowers being done in this image, or do you not want me to show them all being done because it'll be fairly similar with the flowers, or how do you want me to coordinate that? Because I'm happy to continue them all in the same image or show it all in the same image, but I kind of feel like this image could end up being a bit repetitive because it's just 3 flowers, leaves, the bead things on it, and then the insides of the flowers, and then there'll be the background. And I probably won't show all the background because it'll take quite a bit of time. I'll probably just show you how to do a patch of it. And yeah, so I guess I was wondering, do you want to see me do the other flowers and leaves as well, or do you want me to just do that off camera and skip forwards? I would love to hear your thoughts on that because it was something that I was wondering if it would be a bit repetitive doing that or not. So let me know if you do want to see me do those on camera and explain again how to do the flowers, or whether you want me to do it off camera. I would love to find out what you might like to see, because I'm happy to continue them on camera. I guess I just wanted to find out if that was something you wanted to see happen with the rest of these flowers or not, because it could get a bit repetitive being the same flowers. But then again, I realised too that by repeating it again, that could help again, because you get the same sort of, I guess, ideas and not ideas of, think Rebecca, basically the same hints and tips, and allows you to repeat those hints and tips and get more of a hang on things. So yeah, I would love to find out your thoughts on that, and please let me know in the comments as to exactly what you would like to see happen there, because I don't want to show stuff that gets too repetitive kind of thing if I can avoid it, but I still want to help people out kind of thing. But yeah, I still haven't fully decided with the background though either, so yeah. But yeah, please let me know what you might like to see regarding that, as to if you just want to see me skip forwards and show them once they're done, or whether you want me to repeat it again or what, because I know the last video was nearly 3 hours of just doing this flower alone and showing how to do the water and how to do the colours and everything like that, so I wasn't sure if you wanted me to go over that again with the other flowers, or whether you wanted me to sort of skip forwards. But yeah, anyway, please let me know. Thank you. Or even, I just thought even if it worked, I could even do, if you want me to skip forwards a bit over the repetitive parts, I could even do like a, I guess like a bit like a speed colouring bit on those sections, but I don't have to. I'm totally willing to repeat the instructions and go over all of that again. And yeah, I would love for you to let me know what you want to see there, as to if you want me to just go over it all again, or whether you want me to just skip forwards and bring you in for the other parts as it goes, or whether you want me to just do the whole thing like I usually would, which I'm happy to do, as I've said, but basically the whole thing like I usually do with the taking it through the whole image. But I guess just looking at this one, it seems like it could be a lot more repetitive than some of those other images, which I do take you through the whole thing. Which is why I was considering possibly skipping forwards if people didn't necessarily want to see me just repeat the same steps over again. But yeah, let me know, because I would love to hear from you as to what you want with that. Thank you. Just had to shift a couple of things out of the way. Just built a couple of things. Luckily it wasn't wet stuff. Except I did just get something sticky, so I'm just going to pause for a minute, wash my hands so I don't get anything sticky on my hand again and wash that spot that I just shifted stuff from so I don't get it on my book. So I'll be back in a minute. So I'm back. Sorry about that. I just didn't want to get sticky stuff all over my book. I think it might have come from the honey tub that I shifted. So yeah, as you all know, you don't really want sticky food stuff all over your colouring books. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly wipe the spot up and do that so I wasn't going to get food stuff on my book because it's happened before, and yeah, it's not great. I think I might have mentioned it, I actually had a book come from Book Depository in the mail and it had food spilt inside it and the page was stuck together, which was kind of gross. And as you all know, I like to keep my books nice, so yeah. That's just why I stopped for a minute, because I felt that, well, I probably should do it off camera and not keep you guys just waiting around whilst I do it. So yeah. But all good now, we're all sorted and cleaned, and let me know if you've had any horror stories with your colouring books that you've bought from places. Because for me, the worst one is finding food, sticking the pages together. But yeah. So we're on our last leaf for this flower for now, and then we're probably well, of course we'll go on to add in the other colours. I don't think we'll worry about going with all the other leaves as well currently right now. I don't think we will. But I guess that also comes back to repetitive, and if you want me to still do that on camera or not. So yeah, let me know. The background, I'm pretty certain I won't do all of that on camera, whatever I decide, just because of the fact that it will, shall we say, take up way too much time, and it would get very repetitive just watching me constantly do the same background. So like the Joanna Basford one, I'll probably just do a bit of a part on it and that's it. Do the majority off camera. But yeah. Let me know your thoughts on what you want me to do. now what we're going to come in with is our vivid green. And yeah, I just noticed a bit of pencil lid sticking out the bottom where they've got the pencil colours here. But yeah, we're going to come in with our vivid green and we're going to bring that over all the other colours. We're not going to worry too much about having a blend-in area because we've got so many other colours to bring in, and it will kind of blend when we add the water. But we want to bring that over all other colours. And I might actually just, in some of these bigger areas, I'm just going to bring a slight bit of light vivid green out over those spots. And even in this spot. Because I changed my mind, I decided I did want a bit of that light colour there for the blending sort of purposes. Whoops, trying not to go over the stems and everything like I just did. Just going to change where we view this from. Got a bit of outline green, light shadows here, that's all that I'm correcting. that's our first leaf with the vivid green added. And we're basically just going to do the same, just going over all colours and just adding in our light shadow into the area as we go for the rest of the leaves. Some areas won't have as much shadows or as much light space as others and may be filled, but we'll still add in the other colours in those spots as we go anyway. That again. Oops, accidentally went over there. Oh well. Lucky it's an area that I can sort of work it in to anyway. Whoops, sorry. I'll do that next time when the camera's in its break. I was thinking of a drink, but to try and get a bit of the croak out of my mouth and that, but out of my throat, but I don't have any water left in my cup, do I? Because I drank it all. Like usual. Just went over this spot again, and just to fill it in so that we don't get confused again, I'm just going to put the black in there and we'll go over that. Well, it's ink black, but I'm just going to put that in there just so that I don't get confused by the spot where I've gone over and think it's a leaf when it's not a leaf and that sort of thing. And in a minute I'm just going to quickly add the water over that little patch and try not to get it into any of the leaf areas. So we're just using a very lightly damp brush again to do so. And sorted. So yes, I'm certain I'm going to have black in the background. As for exactly how, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I will do a galaxy style background or if I will do something different with the black, or whether I'll just do pitch black with the stars and stuff showing and that's it. I'm still, as I said, deciding. Also, if there's anyone from Hawaii here, I have seen the news about Kilauea, and I hope everyone there is safe and not getting hurt or anything, and I hope you don't lose too much of your landscape. From what I can tell, it seems like eruptions are still going on, going by news I've seen on YouTube about the fault lines and cracks opening up and stuff like that. So I hope everyone there is safe and no one's hurt that watches these videos or anything, and just in general I hope the people of Hawaii are safe in that area. So I just thought I would say that because I have been watching it and thinking that, but yeah. think. And the other side, all the other ones I've actually done the dark green, the iron green up that spot, but oh well, I'm just going to leave it how I've done it there for this one. It can be the unique one. As we know, not all leaves are the same or look the same or anything, so we can have our different shades of different types of leaves that look slightly different as well. There might have been a bit of water in that spot too, so hopefully it'll wet properly, because when I've done the other one I probably might have gotten a bit of water over onto this second leaf here, which hopefully won't affect putting water on it later. Hopefully not. I guess we'll have to just wait and see. So we're on our last leaf with the vivid green now. This leaf is a lot smaller than some of the others, so there'll be less space for more colours. From experience, or less space for more colours, so you won't be able to fit as many colours in it. I'm just going to pause there quickly too, just because I just noticed it's 27 minutes into this part of the recording and I don't want it to go over and you to miss out on some parts, so I'll pause it here briefly and then I'll be back. So hey everyone, we're back, just checking it's focused because I switched the camera off temporarily. So we're just going to finish off these last couple of petals with our vivid green. And then we'll be coming in with our next colour. And I think I still haven't fully decided on the stem colours, but I think what I might do is actually with the stems, I'm sort of considering what to do with them. So I think I might just leave the stems for a minute, and I can always continue them later, I guess. So now we're going to come in with an apple green with Inktense, and we're going to bring that over all the current colours, and if there's only a small space, that'll be the finishing colour, but spaces where we have more space, we will add in our fourth colour. So say like this little leaf, it probably won't have as much space for it, so we're just filling it in with our apple green as our last colour, but it still gives us our light source in that aspect anyway. It's just we're going to bring in a bit more of a light source, where some of the other areas are able to take it, shall we say, because they're larger spaces. So say in this space, I'm going to try and leave a little space for a bit of our other colour. On this one, it's not going to fit just because of space. And so we're just bringing the apple green in over every colour and just following where our shadows have started to take us first, and then just colouring over those areas and filling in those spots. So we're not necessarily worrying about shadows or anything like that in those spots. We do want a bit of, if we can, bring it out a bit into some of those other areas, but it is bringing to those shadows with that colour. Yeah, as said, I'm not too worried about the, shall we say, shading areas for lighter, because we are going to be bringing in another lighter colour, and that'll blend as we add our water onto the pencils just this time. As you'll notice, with some of these bigger areas, we are leaving space for our fourth colour, but where we can't, we're just filling it in. Just making sure we go over all the other colour areas, and sorry that was out of the frame a bit for part of it. I didn't even realise. My mistake, sorry. I just started doing it thinking that I wasn't even for some reason my brain was thinking that I wasn't recording when I did that, and I was. And so yeah, at least I picked it up before you missed too much. But still, I guess mistakes happen sometimes. So now I'm just going to swap the position and make sure we'll get this in the frame. So we're back to a smaller leaf again, so the majority of this one will probably be taken up just with the apple green finishing it off. Maybe a few small spots where we have our fourth colour, but there may not. And I've kind of decided what I'm going to do for the center of those stems now. What I'm actually going to do is bring in our, and I'm going to do this quickly before we do this, but I'm going to bring in our vivid green along this side. I'm not going to worry about the darker colour right now. And then just do a light shadow of the vivid green there. And then what we're going to actually do is bring in our apple green on top of the vivid green for our stem, just so that it provides a bit of contrast between where the shadows are around that area and the stem. So once again, we're just doing a vivid green down on the upper side. A little bit of light shadows, and then apple green on top of that. So the apple green's pretty much over all that area, and we're just doing that for every stem. So apple green up the top, just tracing along the top area, light shadow, and then, oh sorry, that was vivid green, and then apple green. My brain's starting to get a bit tired. So, a vivid green along this side. Light shadow, and then apple green. And then last one, our vivid green, and we're going to do it on this side again. We're just going to stick to the same side for each spot, then a lighter shade, and then our apple green. And then what we're going to do in our light sort of shadow areas that we've got left, we're not going to worry about adding this into the, shall we say, the areas that are fully filled. We're just going to add it into other areas, but we're going to add in some Sherbert Lemon just into these areas where we've got our open sort of light areas currently. So we just want Sherbert Lemon in all those areas. We're not worrying about putting it over all the colours. We're just basically colouring it in over a bit of our apple green and not worrying about putting it over every single colour tone, just some of those areas. So just any little areas where you've left some white spots where it'll fit, we're just adding it into those areas. Oops, I'm sorry, that was out of the frame again. I'm doing that a lot lately. I think it's because I'm trying to do videos when I'm a bit tired, so I don't fully notice, so my apologies about that. I will get better at fixing it, not doing that again. I need to, because it annoys me to no end when I do it, so yeah. Anyway, so now what we're going to do, I should probably have left it zoomed out, then I wouldn't have cut anything out, but I figured you'd be able to see it easier if I had it zoomed in, so yeah. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is come in with our water and brush, just lightly brushing, and you want to do from your lightest area to darkest. So you're trying to get those sort of blendings going well. And not too much water on the brush either. just working quickly too to get it in before it dries properly. So see this area, we want it to come in over there and then down into our darker areas. Just trying to work fastish. Or as fast as you can work anyway with those sorts of colours and that anyway. I normally don't try not to use too much water as well, just to prevent bleed through, but I probably used just a little much on that one. Too fast, because as you can see it's still shiny and still drying, so yeah, trying to minimise the extent of water you're using on the image so that it does dry fastish and you can work quickly to add more in if you really need to. Oh phew, it is in the camera. Sorry, I'm starting to get paranoid about checking it's in the camera now after accidentally moving it out of the frame a couple of times. So some of these areas where it looks a bit bold, I do try and bring the brush back in and just blend it down. And I had a little bit much water on my brush then when I did it. And my water's turning green from the ink. But yeah, I'm basically working from our lighter colours to our darker colours, because if you work the darker colours to the light, it tends to take over the light colours and totally goes over the top of them, which you don't. Well, I don't want the light source being completely wiped out on the image by doing it that way, so I work. So I'm back. We're just going to continue with our watercolour areas. Our water's starting to turn a light green from the pencils, but it's all good. So as I said before, we're going from our lighter areas to our darker areas to do our blending, get it blended into the image. Just brushing off your brush each time with a light stroke, so there's not too much water on the brush either, because we don't want too much water, because we don't want it to bleed through the page. So trying to make sure we get every area with the water, but at the same time that the blending looks nice and even kind of thing. dim area now. Continuing from our light areas, basically going to our darker areas. And brushing off our water brush in between. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm assuming you can get a lot lighter colour variation if you don't put the pencils on as dark. But I haven't really done that yet because I usually like to have that deep, dark, intense colour variation to what I'm doing. I do. Coming out really pretty. I really like the colour combos. Whoops, I missed some of the apple green in this one. All along that bottom area. Sorted now. Pretty much I find it's all about trying to work fast with the Inktense pencils before the water dries to get the blend looking right. And trying to work with minimal water so that you aren't soaking it through to the other page, which as you'll see we haven't yet gotten anything through, bleeding through. So that's what I'm also trying to avoid doing this. So I'm just going to fix this one up using a little bit of our Sherbert Lemon on the end of our brush. As you'll notice, I'm just brushing it over there, and then I'm just going to blend that in to here just to fix that up. So that is one of the ways that I fix things up sometimes. If I blend too much colour over one thing, I basically go and re-add it using the brush and pencil basically. Some of these areas that are smaller, you can't necessarily do all the light spots first, so I'm just trying to get the light areas showing and then go over the dark, but it tends to go over both at once, so just do the best you can with those. I've got green pencil all over the background area too. That is another thing. I do notice that these pencils do still seem to leave like the smudge areas, like Prismacolors and that too. Probably not really much you can do about it except erase it, but I just figure since I'm going to be putting black into the background and that, there's not really much point erasing it currently. So I'm just kind of leaving it there for now, because the fact it'll probably be covered up eventually with another colour, but also, yeah. As said before, and we don't need to go over it again, I'm not really a fan of using erasers with these types of pencils because I find in the end it just makes things worse. But yeah. If you have a pencil that works really well for you, though, eraser that works really well, I'd love to see it or hear about it, but yeah, I don't tend to buy erasers and that much these days at all, just because of that. And yeah, we don't need to go all over that same story again, because I think I've been over it a couple of times. But yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing though, because it makes you have to learn how to correct your mistakes without using an eraser. So that is one advantage I see about it, is I learn how to fix things without resorting to an eraser. And it's not like, well, you can really notice it that much, but sometimes I find even with these ink pencils, it makes the smudging and stuff worse. So, but yeah, as I said, Don't need to go over all that all over again. Leave it be. We're on to our third leaf now. Page is buckling a bit from the water. That is one thing that you will get, even trying to use light layers, it still buckles the paper. It still does. But you can flatten it a bit again by stacking it under other books quite easily. Don't worry too much if you do go over the lines a little bit with the water, because we're going to be covering that up with the background later on. I'm sort of thinking I may end up just going with just a plain black background for this one with the stars. That's what I'm thinking of right now. Just because I don't want to overdo the details on it, kind of thing, but I'll see how I go. And I had way too much water on the brush then. Way too much. As you can tell from the way it's sort of all raised up and bubbled, and it was just smudging over all the other colours. That's when you can tell that you got way too much water on the brush. So I'm just trying to even that out a bit now again. still doing our lighter areas first. We are. Anyway, I guess I'll keep thinking about the background and exactly what I want to do with it before I do it, because I don't want to do anything that'll take away too much from the flower and the details and stuff. So I'm thinking probably a simple black background maybe best, but yeah. As I've changed my mind so many times currently, we shall just wait and see. So, last 2 leaves. I think I have too much water on the brush again. I'm just checking to see that it can go through. No, it hasn't, fortunately. I didn't wipe it off enough again. Sometimes you can't get it off enough once the back of your hand gets completely coated with water, which is what's happening with mine currently. Sometimes it's hard to get that blending just perfect as well, which is why you might see me going back over the same area 2 or 3 times trying to get it, and sometimes having too much water, sometimes not. And time is getting close to finishing currently, so I'm just going to, shall we say, temporarily pause. I've just used my cloth that I use on the colouring images to dab off my hands, which means that ink water's probably never going to come off there again, but yeah, and I'm just going to temporarily pause and then come back and finish off our last 2 leaves, just so that I know that it won't cut out or anything. So yeah, I'll see you back shortly. So I'm back. Would you believe we're down to 9 minutes only left on this video, and I think we're just going to get the leaves finished and in on time. So yeah, I think we're just going to finish it as it stands with the leaves, and I think I'm going to leave it at that rather than adding in more stuff in the meantime. As I said, please let me know if you want to see me repeat these, repeat what I've done, or whether you want to see me just skip ahead and do it off camera and then bring you in for the bits that I haven't done on camera. But I'm happy to continue doing the images I have been and just repeat the same steps. But yeah, let me know if you want to see that. And yeah, it's coming out good, I think. And as you'll notice, we've got a pretty lime green water. Can't see it properly in the camera lighting as it stands, but it's a really pretty lime green. So I'm just trying to move this along a bit so that we get it all in the time that we've got left. Trying to get some nice blends between things, but also go back over. I think I got too much of the water on the pencil there, so what I'm going to do is try and dust it off a bit and then go back in and bring this yellow out more again. I don't want the green over it like I just did, so trying to keep that colour variation showing, but also get our blended areas into there so it's not too prominent, the changes between where the shadows go, because we don't want that. Whoops, too much water. If you have to, use your arm as well to do it. That's to dab off the water off the brush if you run out, if your hand gets too wet. I tend to use my arm instead. See, that's the problem here. All the yellow's actually being blended over by the apple green, so I'm trying not to let it take over it too much, but it seems it just likes to keep taking over the apple green. And I'm running out of time here. If I only had one leaf left, it wouldn't be a problem. And that area is done. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this last leaf off camera. Basically it'll be just following what I've just shown you, just because we've got less than 2 minutes left and I am not going to get that done in 2 minutes, and I don't want to try rushing like I'm doing currently with this one, because I want to be happy with the product at the end, as I've been telling people not to rush, and I was just trying to do it, and I don't want to rush. I want to be able to just focus on sort of getting it how I want it to look as well. So I'm going to do this leaf here, this little leaf off camera. It'll pretty much be the same process as I've been doing here, just going light to dark. So if you wanted to continue that one, do that little leaf too. It's just basically going light to dark, doing the same as I've done with all the other leaves, following along with those waterlines, just trying to blend things in a bit as you can by adding other layers and stuff. So I really hope this helps, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will quickly zoom out so you can see what it's looking like currently. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, also, if you really do like this, please like, subscribe and comment. I love to hear from you, and I would love to hear your opinions on what I've asked about in this video. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.